Welcome everybody into the 2021 WAC Football Preview Day in Houston, Texas. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Rachel Vigil, joined here with some players and coach from Tarleton. We've got head coach Todd Whitten, wide receiver Tariq Bitson, and then defensive back Devin Hafford. How is everyone doing today?
We're doing great. We're very happy to be here.
Well.
Good, happy to hear. Coach, I want to start with you. Once there was word that Tarleton was going to be joining the WAC this season, what was your initial reaction?
Well, we were really excited when we got the opportunity to go Division I, and there for a little while it was just us and Dixie State, and so when we learned of the expansion, the Texas schools joining, and sort of where we are today, we were beyond happy, beyond excited. I think the WAC's a great conference, and I think what our presidents and athletic directors have put together is just incredible. So it's going to be a great league.
Tariq, for you transferred from Adams State. You didn't really get the full experience here at Tarleton due to COVID. How excited are you for this upcoming season?
Oh, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be a great experience for me and also for my teammates. Like you said, we're going to plan a full D1 schedule, so it's a great feeling to know that week in, week out that not only me and my teammates are going to give our best, but we're going to be going up against some of the best competition that the WAC has to offer.
In such a unique year, how would you describe the culture that is Tarleton State football? It's
great. It's nothing that you can simulate. It's been a great experience for me. They welcomed me with open arms. They treated me like family, and that's all you can ask for as a collegiate athlete.
Devin, for you, in 2019, you suffered an injury. Then, of course, we've got this weird COVID year. What's the number one thing you're looking forward to most this upcoming season?
Just to win games, honestly. I'm ready to play. Like you said, it was a different year, COVID year, so I'm ready for the full experience this fall.
Was there any hesitation for you not to come back at all?
No, man, I love football, so there's no hesitation in my mind to come back and play.
Coach, for you, 4 preseason all-WAC selections, 2 of them sitting right here. How much do you rely on them to be leaders for this team?
Well, we've got a lot of really good players. These guys certainly are great players for us. We've got 15 seniors, and I think our leadership's going to be one of our real assets. So we've got a team full of guys. We've got really good team speed, I think, and but every year, anytime you start a new year, the real trick, I think, is to become a team, to become a family, become a unit. With the transfer portal and the way guys are moving around now more than ever, that's even more difficult now. So we're very blessed to have these older guys, and they're working really hard. So we'll be ready for Stephen F. Austin, our first game, and they're working really hard to build a team unit.
How do you have these older gentlemen bring that team chemistry to help mold those younger individuals?
We talk about it a lot because that's a hard thing to do, to make the team more important than yourself. And it's not, human nature is really opposite of that. And so, I want these guys to play for one another, and we talk about how difficult it is, and it's something that you have to be conscious of, I think, and real deliberate in how you go about, as we add new guys, make them feel welcome, make them be a part of our family. And I think now more than ever, as a coach, as with our team leadership, I think team building and being a family and doing it in a hurry, because every year you have new guys that come in the summer now, and so I think it's really important that these guys in this leadership.
And Tariq, I was able to stalk your guys' social media, not to make that sound weird at all, but I noticed that you welcomed a daughter in 2020. Congratulations. How are you able to handle balancing being a dad but also a father?
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's been a learning experience, just like the planting in the spring. You just have to take it one day at a time. Having a daughter has definitely made me more patient. it's definitely made me more intact with my feelings as far as making sure I'm not too overly aggressive or maybe overly explosive about certain things. Trying to be patient and understanding, and it kind of translates with the field. Like Coach said, having new teammates who are not used to the way we do things, so you have to give them time and try to give them patience and give them the experiences that you gave or the experience you may have came across, and just kind of trying to nurture them in the way of how we do things.
And Devin, for you, you've been a cornerback most of your life, and I know you're making the transition to safety. How has that transition been?
I actually played safety in high school, so I mean the transition wasn't too much different. I have to learn a bit more football from the high school level, from the college level, playing safety. You have to know everybody's job really on the field. So the transition has been a learning experience.
And Coach, I know in 2019 your stadium got a facelift, and fans were only able to be in there for 2 games before COVID. What are you looking forward to most when that stadium can have 10,000 plus fans back in it?
We have a great community. We have great fans, and just great support. So our student body is really like no other, and I've coached all around. Our students show up in full force, and so we've just been really blessed. We have a great administration in Dr. Hurley and our athletic director, Lon Reisman. We've completed a new stadium. We've completed a new locker room, field house facility, and so I can tell you the folks at Tarleton are all in, and and as a football coach, that really makes it nice.
And from your perspective, what will it take to win the WAC this year?
Well, you got to be really consistent. You got to have a good football team and good players. There's a lot of that in this league. Defending national champ in Sam Houston. It's going to be who can play well week after week after week, just like Sam did last year. And so we were inconsistent back in the spring. I was disappointed with that, and so I thought we played pretty well on the defensive side. On the offensive side, which is where I spend most of my time, I'm basically our offensive coordinator. I thought we were inconsistent. One week was really good, and one week was really bad. And as a coach, that's really frustrating. So, but I think it's all about consistency. Certainly, the teams with the best players, are going to have an advantage. But I like our guys. I like our team, and it's going to be a lot of things are going to be new for us. It will be hands down the toughest schedule we've ever had. But I think we'll do. I don't know how many games we can win, but I think we will compete very well. And we've got a lot of guys that can move their feet. We've got really good team speed. We've just got to play a little better than what we did during the spring.
Well, thank you guys so much. We're now going to send it over to Chris Thompson with media questions.
All right, we will open it up for questions here.
Coach, this is Chris Mikoski. I'm with ESPN Plus. A lot of coaches obviously will preach to their team, let's push for the playoffs. With that not available, how is your motivation a little bit different when you can't put that out there for your student athletes?
Well, I think if we've got a football team full of tough kids, full of football players, and so just 4 months ago we got through, and I think we took 10, 12 days off and got right back at it. So we're going to be awfully anxious to tee it up against Stephen F. Austin here really soon. And I can assure you our guys, being able to go out and compete and have a chance to win that game, that's plenty. And then we'll do the same thing the next week and keep going one week after another, and we'll count them up at the end. But as we go out and recruit, we work really hard as a staff to sort of recruit our kind of guys, we like to say, and guys that love football and that are really competitive. And those kind of guys, they don't need much more than an opportunity to go play on a Saturday. And so I think that's the kind of football team that we have. So certainly that gets used against us a lot in recruiting, I can assure you. That comes up all the time. And so, but it is what it is. We're very thankful for the WAC, the great job that they're doing. We're thankful for Dr. Hurley having the courage to move us into Division I. And so we know there's going to be some tough days. There's going to be some obstacles along the way, not being able to go to the playoffs for a little while. But that's part of it. But there's at the end of this transition journey, there's going to be a nice prize out there for us, and we'll be a full-fledged member of Division I football. And so we're going to enjoy it one day at a time and go out and do our best every Saturday.
Byron Anderson, Tarleton Sports Network. Coach, this is a little bit different year in a lot of ways. One of those ways is that you guys played nearly a full schedule with 8 games in the spring, but there's teams like ACU and SFA played a fall schedule. How do you see that? Do you see that as an advantage for you having played more recently, or does the rest help those other teams more?
Well, I don't know. I'm not nearly smart enough to figure that out. The most difficult thing I thought from our spring schedule was we opened up with McNeese, and that was our first game. And then the next week we played New Mexico State, and we went and played well, and that was their first game. And then the week after that we played Dixie, and that was their first game. That was our third game. And then the week after that, help me out, every week it was their first game, even if it was week 4, 5, 6. So it was the toughest part for us, I thought, was we were a little bit road weary or game weary, if you will, if that's the right way to say that. And we were playing one fresh team right after another. We ended the season on a poor note. East Central beat us. And we played on a Saturday, turned around and played on the next Thursday night. They hadn't played in 4 weeks. And so there were situations like that were just really, really odd. And so that to me was the biggest difference. But as far as playing fall, playing in spring, how that's going to translate, we came out of the spring season relatively healthy. We were blessed in that regard. So we've got a great strength staff. Rod Cole, he's a veteran. He's been around a long time, and he kind of knows how much, when to push, when not to push. And so I think we got our guys in shape, and I think we're ready to go, even though it's been a short turnaround. So I hope that answers your question.
Hi guys, it's Dylan Crowley from Texas College Football. This question's going to be for Coach Whitten and Devin. You spoke on it a little bit already, Coach, but what were some of the biggest things y'all learned as a team last season, playing your first season in Division I?
Well, I think the consistency factor. Our last 2 years in Division II, we were 23-2. And there could be weeks where we could go out and maybe not be at our best, and we were able to still get to get a win. So we had 2 perfect seasons. We had back-to-back 11-0s, lost 2 playoff games, and so that's just not the case in Division I. You've got to play well every week, and so, like I said, while we won 5 games, we were 5-3 in the spring season. I really wasn't pleased, especially with the way that we played on offense. We were inconsistent, and if you're inconsistent in what we're about to do, we're not going to do very well. So you got to play well every week, both sides of the ball in the kicking game, and that's the thing that I'm stressing with our guys, with our staff. We've got to be more consistent. Again, I thought we played pretty well on defense, and we weren't nearly explosive enough on the offensive side, and 1 week good, 1 week bad, and so we still got a lot of work to do. You got to play good every week. You can't. We were good enough there in Division II to let our guard down a little bit and maybe survive, and those days are over.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What was some of the biggest things you've learned last season playing your first season in Division I?
Like Coach Sam, just being more consistent. on and off the field, just daily practice habits and what you do on and off the field. Coming from the Division II level, we played in one of the toughest conferences in Division II, the Lone Star Conference, so the talent level was not that much different coming from the Lone Star Conference, but just being more consistent, because every game is just going to be a tough competition.
Thank you, guys.
Question here. The WAC's obviously a very historically football-rich conference, going back, Heisman Trophy winners. Boise State run as kind of the underdog that I think a lot of small programs kind of see themselves of what Chris Peterson did there at Boise. Now the WAC as a conference has more teams in Texas than any other Division I conference. All that melding together, Texas's love of football, WAC having more schools in Texas. What does that mean for both growing the Tarleton brand and the WAC football brand?
Well, number one, I think we're incredibly blessed to be in the WAC. We're very thankful. I coached in the WAC many, many years ago. I was at UTEP and at Wyoming, and I remember the great games we had, San Diego State and Hawaii and Brigham Young and Colorado State and the Air Force Academy. And so I know there's just a rich, rich tradition. And we just couldn't be more happy. I think the WAC is the perfect place for us in this new league. I said earlier, very thankful for the WAC, the presidents, the ADs, everybody getting this thing organized. Again, I think we've been incredibly blessed with Lamar and Sam and Stephen F. and Abilene coming in, and now we're and the two schools in Utah, Dixie and Southern Utah, and I think it's just going to be a great league, and we got a lot of good days ahead of us. So I truly believe the sky's the limit. I think it's from Tarleton's standpoint, we were ready to roll. We got into Division I and we got into the WAC without anybody to play. So there wasn't any doubt about our commitment and our readiness. And then, I think the Lord blessed us with getting all the presidents together, the Texas schools, the new schools that joined, those guys making those decisions. And I know they were tough decisions. And I think what we have right here in front of us now is really special. And it's going to be so good for Tarleton.
Coach, Caleb with KTRE Television in Nacogdoches. You being an SFA alum, you get to play SFA now. Y'all played them a few years ago and you kind of spanked them around the field a bit under Colby's first year there. How do you see that rivalry developing, with you being an SFA alum and getting back into NAC? Well,
Probably going to develop. It's probably already somewhat developed. I think we'll have some great rivalries throughout the WAC. We have a history of playing Stephen F. So we scheduled twice. We only got to play one of those games, but I can assure you that myself and Colby, we like beating one another, and so there won't be any shortage of rivalry there. We think very highly of Coach Carthel and his staff and their program, and we've been going against those guys for a long time, and they're really hard to beat. And so they've got a good program, and he's doing a great job over there. I think we'll have a big game here in about a month there. We've had, and I've been coaching at Tarleton off and on for 25 years, and the biggest games we've ever had in our stadium have been against Abilene Christian. Our community, we're 90 miles apart. I can assure you that's going to be a nice rivalry and important, really important to both communities. So I think it's going to be an incredible league. I think so many rivalries.
This question is for all three of you guys, really. When you cracked open the schedule and saw it for the first time, your first WAC schedule, which game stood out to you? Were you most excited about? Was there one that stood out more than others?
Personally, probably the SFA, the first game, the SFA game. I got hurt in 2019 in the first quarter going against those guys. So just to redeem myself that game and play a full game and beat those guys again. And probably the Sam Houston game, since they're the national champions, I want to get a chance to go against the best in front of everybody.
I would have to say really the whole schedule. I think each game is going to allow us as a team to show what we have. I think right now it's kind of a mystery out on Tarleton. I think people don't really know exactly what we're bringing to the table. So I think each game is just a way for us as a team and a program to show that we have, the athletes in the program to compete at this level.
I know that I'm very fortunate for the opportunity to coach this team, and so I know it sounds like the thing to say, but I cherish every day I get to go to practice with these guys, and certainly every Saturday that I get to go out and coach them. And so, we're just honored to be able to move up into Division I, and I'm anxious to see how our guys do. And so, to me, each week is going to be a lot of fun.
Question for the players here. Coach kind of alluded to it, but with Abilene Christian having a rival 90 miles away, kind of what's the thought with the team, the athletic department on campus of having that natural rival so close? That's one of the best things about college athletics is the rivalries. But how fun is it going to be to rebuild that rivalry at Tarleton and ACU?
I think it's going to be great. I think, like Coach alluded to earlier, we have a great fan base. So just being able to give them a chance to pack the stands again for a rivalry game of that magnitude, and it'll be a conference game. So I think anytime you get to play a rival that's in your conference, it's a great experience. You can't take it for granted at all because you don't get to play those guys again until the following year. So they have all the bragging rights. And I think in our culture now, bragging rights is something that goes a long way. So if we get a chance to stack quite a few games on top of them, then it makes the rivalry even better.
Yeah, like Tariq was saying, just how the towns are so close towards each other. One of our guys, actually, Ronell Wilson, is from Abilene, so he's been talking about that game for all summer. So he's actually from Abilene as well, so I know he's very excited for that game.
Any other questions here? Rachel, back to you.
Alrighty, well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming down here and hanging out and talking with us and all the rest of the media. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Alrighty, for those tuning in on the WAC Digital Network and Facebook Live, we'll be back at the bottom of the hour.